Okie dokie. Okay, so now that Rin can't summon the Phoenix, she's useless to Visera. She becomes a figurehead instead, and Visera is punishing her by staying away from her. It's just confirmation that Visera doesn't care about Rin at all. He only cares about what she can do for him. We finally get to see Venka again. I was really surprised on how I was excited to see her again, even though she was a very, very mean girl in the first one. And she's having an argument with her father. There are so many emotions here. There's sadness, anger, embarrassment, and hurt. Her father is no longer treating her like he used to, and you can tell that it hurts Venka. It kind of reminds me of her anger reminds me of when Dumbledore was ignoring Harry and Harry snapped at him by saying, "Look at me." I feel like that's the type of anger Venka has right now when it comes to her father or just to anybody. Venka has always been a very angry person, but she seems even more angrier now because of what has happened to her, which is very valid. And I think she's also angry at the fact that no one is celebrating her life. She is alive, and I feel like no one is giving her the credit of staying alive and for choosing life. She's very brave to want to continue living, and I would praise her for that. Rin and Venka have a conversation, and we learn a few things. We learn about Hesperian religion, and it's basically Christianity. And they have a maker, they have a Bible. Venka is quite hilarious because she's very dubious of this religion. She makes fun of it. I'm not a religious person, so I can see where Venka is coming from. Another thing that we learned is, unfortunately, Venka did get pregnant. She wanted it gone, but because of this new religion, she couldn't. But she found her way to do it. I learned to love Venka throughout the series, and this is including book 3. She has a different type of anger than Rin does. Rin is a brat. Venka is a brat. Rin doesn't admit to a lot of the things that she's done, nor does she confront them. And she needs someone to give her direction. Versus Venka, who has allowed herself to admit what has happened to her, and she has confronted it. And yes, it made her into this very angry and bitter person, but at least she has the will to continue living and fighting. She will not go down without a fight. Rin wanted to end her life. She's been wanting that a couple of times. And Venka, who has lived through her own hell, decided that she wants to live and no one's going to take that away from her. And that's the difference between Venka and Rin. And I prefer a Venka over a Rin anytime. Rin and Venka are able to have a conversation without ripping each other's heads off. Rin goes on about no longer being useful to Visera, and Venka says in this very jealous tone of, "You can still hold a sword." This shows to me that Venka is a soldier. Rin, she's not a soldier. Okay, we move on to the next section. Rin is attending this military meeting, which Visera allows her to attend. Some warlords are not too committed to Visera quite yet, which doesn't really worry them. Someone even questions Jingza's leadership skills, especially since he's young, which makes me smile, and it gives a little hint of later events. Rin speaks out of turn because she's finally understanding how pathetic the warlords are. This realization is very, very important for the series. They want Rin to get rid of their enemies. And it proves the point that they don't want to get rid of anything to gain something. She tells him that her powers don't discriminate, which is good for her. She's always been able to defend herself that way. But they keep taunting her by calling her a little girl. And surprisingly, Visera let her speak. So I mentioned that Rin and Visera go see the monkey warlord, but it was the snake warlord, not the monkey. So that was an oopsie there. And he shows up and he's very upset with Visera because Visera kind of threatens the snake warlord to join his side, which makes him really angry. But he comes in telling Visera off, this was inappropriate. And Visera, he knows how to switch up his attitude, his personality very, very quickly. And he becomes a little more meek when he's getting scolded at. And Rin sees this. Well, Rin, I hope you know that this is what he's doing to you as well. It makes me wonder if she ever catches on to the fact that Visera also manipulated her. We get more training between Naja and Rin. I don't think it's said enough of how much Naja knows Rin. They know each other's moves, and I just want that to be mentioned a lot more throughout the book. I don't think it's mentioned enough. Anyways, Naja and Visera want Rin to get rid of the trident, but she doesn't want to because it belongs to Alton, blah, blah, blah. But we also get to know that Rin has been trying to break the seal, but it's not working because she can't get rid of this version of Alton. I honestly think that's a poor excuse because Alton was nothing but abusive towards her towards the end of his life. There's a moment where Rin and Naja are training, and Naja's like, if you wanted to take a stumble, all you have to do is ask, or something like that, which is funny. And I didn't catch that the first time. And I wish Rin was a little bit more playful during these moments because it's Naja, but instead she says, don't be disgusting, which is so lame. It's so lame. Come on, just play around. Because I'm sure if Rin said yes, I'm sure they will be all over it. It's just my theory. Maybe, I don't know. It's just a fun theory to think of. Okay, let's see. Naja and Rin are done training, and Naja comments about how she should be glad that the phoenix is no longer in her head, causing her pain, something like that, which Rin takes very badly. And she says no one wants to be useless. I agree with Rin because Rin and Naja live in two different worlds. Naja, although he is not abandoned, but he's kind of pushed to the side when it comes to his family, he still has some authority. He has a lot more authority than Rin will ever have. Rin, who found that her phoenix is useful for her because it gave her power. Rin doesn't want to be useful. She flat out said she wants power in book 1 with kind of fooling Master Zheng into thinking she just wants to learn how to contain the phoenix. She's always been like this. She's always wanted power. That's the reason why she made a deal with the phoenix. And Naja is giving her a hard time. And you can tell it comes from jealousy, and jealousy that Rin is still holding on to Alton. And then Naja goes on about how Alton treated people poorly, including Rin. And Rin needs to hear this because Alton was not a good man. Everybody saw that. He was a broken man. He was a broken boy. That I can agree with. Broken people mistreat other people. I understand that. Rin is not special in Alton's eyes. Alton mistreated Rin as well. And Rin gets upset and says how it's not fair since he can't defend himself, and Naja apologized. But I have a problem every time Alton is brought up because Rin becomes this damsel in distress or this meek person when Alton is involved. Her reasons of not speaking ill, or anybody speaking ill of Alton, really puts me on edge, because he was an abusive jerk and she needs to hear that. It makes me mad at RF Kwan because it's like she's defending him as well. I'm like, what are you trying to say, RF Kwan? They have another meeting where they plan to starve some sections. Kitai doesn't want any part of this and walks out and kind of gets dismissed. Naja is for this plan, and any plan his father wants, really. As for Rin, she says something among, if they are not giving in, then if they starve, it's on them. It's not our fault. Something like that. This shows how cruel Rin is, or how cruel she's becoming. At this moment, she is on the stronger side of this war. And this comment just kind of comes back around in book 3. Visera is allowing the warlords to complain and just like butt heads. Kitai and Rin are both worried about this since it's causing delay. Nasha is brushing off their concerns and almost acts kind of naive. It fooled me. It definitely fooled me how he was acting. Rin is actually smart enough to understand there has to be a reason for this. There has to be something that she's missing. And that's when the Hesperians come in. The Hesperians are going to help with this takeover. Rin is putting her trust on Visera, and she's just ignoring this gigantic red flag. We talk about the Hesperians and their missionaries, how they're going around their land, sprouting their religion. And religion becomes a big major theme in the series. It hasn't before, but I think it becomes a greater importance now because it's used as a weapon. The more believers, the more people are willing to open their arms to these foreigners. And this is how we lose culture and how we lose our roots to our native land. When Rin is describing the Hesperians, it's pretty comical because obviously they're white. She compares them to her people. Our people have beautiful black hair. We have different facial structure. And what she calls them is she calls them monsters. She calls them disgusting, ugly, not unique. They all look the same. This prejudice is off-putting, funny. It kind of maybe makes me a little nervous because when Rin is describing the foreigners, she is disgusted. She's like, ew. And it makes me want to ask, Arif Kwan, are you okay? So Rin is quite disgusted with these foreigners. And they come with these Zephyrs. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's a warship. It's a balloon warship. I don't know. I think that's the best I can think of right now. And they come out, and this technology is new to them. All of the people are awestruck with this new invention. And when they land, Naja's mother comes out. Baji instantly calls her hot, but when she looks at Rin, she points to her, which caused a lot of soldiers to come after her. Rin has always been able to defend herself. What's one of the things I really like about her. And when the soldiers are attacking her, it's described as she's fighting by herself. Like there's no mention of Naja shouting orders. Baji is there. I believe Kitai is there. There's no, it feels like she is fighting alone. It is a chaotic event, but I take it as Rin, her fighting alone it's like a comparison to her fighting alone all her life. She's always pretty much has been able to defend herself. No one else has been defending her. That's how I take this interaction. It's probably not that deep, but this is how I see Rin's life. It's sad. It's a sad life. And anyways, they trap her and start bringing like these tools, and she's starting to freak out, as she should, and everybody is treating her like the threat she is. This whole thing just gives me an idea of how Alton felt when he was captured and brought in to be experimented on. Being treated like an animal, to be taken in, it's sad. Like, it truly brings me sadness to think about a child being experimented on. Rin is so much stronger than I am here. Rin is just a stronger person than I am when it comes to her survivor skills and her willing to fight. I'll be a deer in headlights in this situation. I tip my hat to Rin. She wakes up from being attacked and she's very jittery. She also asks, why would they attack me? What? Are you seriously asking that question, Rin? Naja is there and tells her, you're a threat. She is so astonished as to why she might be a threat, when she's been telling the whole country, practically the whole world, that she is the danger. Moments like this, not only are they stupid, but it just, the way Rin acts so innocent and sad and like the world's out to get me, I'm just like, excuse me, you are literally telling everybody you know, that you are the Phoenix and that you can destroy them at any minute. And then you act like this innocent child who doesn't know what she's doing and that you're scared. This is what you call consequences, Rin. You wanted the Phoenix, you got the Phoenix. Now you're scared for your life because you don't have it anymore. But whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? This is what happens when you are very powerful, when you have something that everybody is afraid of. You might not know that this was the price, but you're smart enough to know that this was the price. This is the price you have to pay in order to be a powerful shaman. And now that people are coming after you, you're scared and you're acting, oh, why me? It irks me very much. Naja explains how the Esperians don't trust Rin because, you know, she destroyed an island. Rin starts to understand that they want to dissect her. Naja is trying to calm her down, and it's not helping at all. It's pretty funny because he keeps talking and her mind is spinning and she's talking about all these possibilities of escaping. And I just want to say thank you, Rin, for thinking about the psych when you're thinking about escaping. She's like, I need to get to psych and bounce. One of the smartest decisions that she has thought of right now. And he goes on saying, my father wouldn't allow that to happen. Then Naja stabs me in the heart when he says, I would rather die than let them hurt you. My heart breaks because this is the second lie he's told her face to face that involves her. And I'm angry for Rin. I'm angry, I'm heartbroken for Rin because Rin, who has nobody, she has no one that she can fully trust at this moment. She is scared. And I don't take back, these are consequences. But I can feel sorry for her because she cannot trust anybody, even though people keep telling her to trust her. I feel sorry for her, but it's also you reap what you sow.